things we've seen with things like direct response. If a consumer keeps seeing the same creative over and over again, they're going to burn out on it really fast. If you are working with an agency that's really sharp, they're going to send you multiple creative, or maybe they just roll new creative in every 3 days or every week. In my experience, every time I've worked with an advertiser who said, you know, tell you what, we don't have the budget this month, can you give us a deal, and we'll come back next month, we'll really make it worth your while. I've never seen them come back. I don't know, anyone have any good success stories of people who have gotten it cheap and then come back? No, what you do basically is you give it away. And so my recommendation is if someone comes to you with a sob story about how they, you know, hear them out, maybe there's an opportunity to do something in the future. In my experience, it never really pans out. By the way, you guys deserve to get paid for what you're doing. You know, you don't need to give it away. It's not the best way to cultivate business. Yes?
I'm seeing a ton of almost every RFP that I've dealt with to date has had an added value component to it, where it's like you won't be considered if you don't have some sort of 5% value add, 10% value add, and then they also have these CPM constraints as well. So you're already kind of going to your CPM minimum, and then they want to put 5% on top of that. What's the best way to handle that?
From a publisher, if you have as much control over the inventory as you want, and you can say, yeah, I can give you, I mean, share of voice oftentimes, things like roadblocks or takeover pages increase share of voice, and that's a lot of what they're doing for specific pages oftentimes. The challenge you're going to run into, especially with really, you know, premium inventory, is that everybody wants that slot, and that's the problem. And the reason I bring this up is because sometimes we'll look at the things that we think are important. This isn't your gig. They're talking about generalized advertising. They don't mention digital once. The reason behind these examples is to give you an opportunity to have a critical eye. Now, these are simplified examples that are full of nasty flaws for the purposes of being able to give us something to talk about. Incentivize them to get the creative there on time. Some sort of surcharge. If you want to start on the 1st of the month and your creative shows up on the 7th, you just lost an opportunity, but you're also going to have to pay us something in exchange for that, because we're not making money on the impressions we could have been selling to other people just because your creative didn't show up. Anyone here who got late creative?
Yeah. But how do they respond to that? Because we never get creative on time.